Chapter 4: The Problems with Traditional Bracing. The last thing kids with scoliosis need is yet another high-tech brace that only squeezes their ribs and hides under sweaters. Braces aim at the curve, but ignore the body that created it. Real progress comes from fresh ideas that treat scoliosis as a whole-body, brain-driven condition. We should be testing genetics, balancing neurotransmitters, strengthening bones, and retraining posture reflexes through active therapy. When we teach the brain and muscles to guide a straighter spine, every step becomes treatment, not torture. Instead of redesigning hard shells, let's redesign care, integrating science, movement, and mindset to build truly robust, lifelong spinal health. A plastic shell in a busy world. Imagine slipping a hard plastic shell over your torso every morning before school, then keeping it on for 23 hours a day. That shell presses against your ribs when you sit, digs into your hips when you bend, and squeaks a little when you walk down a quiet hallway. Now picture trying to raise your hand in class, take a deep breath in gym, or tie your shoes in the locker room while 20 pairs of curious eyes glance your way. This is daily life for thousands of kids who wear scoliosis braces. Even though braces come in bright colors and fancy patterns today, they can still feel like a rigid cage that turns simple moments, sitting in class, eating lunch, riding the bus, into tiny battles. Comfort versus compliance. Doctors often tell families that a brace only works if a child wears it as many hours as possible. Some prescriptions call for 16 hours. Others push for 23. But comfort sets the real limit. Straps pinch, edges rub, and heat builds up inside the shell like a greenhouse. Summer days can feel like living in a toaster oven, while winter coats jam against the brace and make shoulders ache. When a brace hurts, the body sends alarm signals: sweaty skin, racing heart, sore muscles. Teens may loosen straps when parents are not looking, or slip the brace off after school. These choices are not acts of rebellion, they are silent cries for relief. Studies have found that the average child wears a prescribed full-time brace only about half the recommended hours. The numbers drop even lower on weekends and during sports seasons. Compliance fails because comfort fails. Do I look weird? The emotional load. Middle school and high school are hard enough without extra attention. A brace cannot hide under every t-shirt, and thicker shirts mean sweating more. Some kids grow skilled at quick costume changes. Others dread being picked for team sports. Locker rooms echo with jokes and stares. Even well-meaning teachers might single out a student with words like, "Take it easy today," which can feel like a spotlight instead of kindness. Research shows higher rates of anxiety, low self-esteem, and body image concerns in brace teens compared with peers. These feelings can follow them into college and adulthood, shaping how they see themselves long after the brace comes off. Confidence matters as much as curve size, yet rigid bracing rarely supports mental health. Freedom to move, or not. The spine is not a steel rod. It is meant to twist, bend, and spring back. When a brace clamps the torso, natural motion shrinks. Running feels bouncy and shaky. Twisting to catch a fly ball can tug the skin. Even laughing hard can hurt. Many sports, gymnastics, wrestling, swimming, become nearly impossible in a brace unless the child removes it, which lowers wear time and sparks guilt. Physical therapists warn that long hours of immobility weaken core muscles, much like a cast shrinks a broken arm. When the brace finally comes off, those muscles must learn to fire again from scratch. Some kids feel wobbly, sore, or uncoordinated for months, putting them at risk for new injuries. In short, bracing often trades growing strength for temporary stillness. Does it even work long term? The common standard for measuring scoliosis is the Cobb angle. Many brace studies look only at whether that angle rises, falls, or stays the same during treatment. While some children hold their curve steady, fewer show real straightening, and many lose any gains once the brace time ends. A review of long-term follow-up studies found that a significant number of former brace wearers still cross the surgical threshold of 40 degrees later in life. Why? Because the brace never corrected the hidden reasons the curve appeared: balance glitches, muscle imbalance, genetic wiring. It merely paused the scene, like pressing freeze on a video. The moment the pause lifts, during a growth spurt, a stressful year, or a skipped checkup, the curve can move again. A band-aid on deeper problems. Think of scoliosis like a crooked tree in a windy field. The wind shapes the trunk every day, not just once. Wrapping a rope around the tree might pull it straighter for a season, but if the wind keeps howling, the trunk will lean again. In the same way, scoliosis roots lie in faulty posture reflexes, uneven muscle firing, and sometimes hormone surges that soften ligaments. A brace cannot calm the wind of mixed-up sensory feedback or neuromuscular imbalance. It merely ropes in the trunk. Without training the nervous system to sense upright posture more clearly, the curve's driving forces never fade. Bracing says, "Hold still." The body replies, "For how long?" The science says, active beats passive. Over the past 15 years, scientists have tested programs that combine balance training, core strengthening, and feedback suits that cue muscles in real time. One study from Europe followed two groups of similar curves. The first group wore standard braces. The second followed an active, brain-based protocol with short daily exercise sessions and a lightweight postural suit. After 2 years, both groups showed similar control of curve size, but the active group reported less back pain, better lung function, and stronger cores. They also wore supportive gear far fewer hours a day, about 3 instead of 18. Other research shows that stimulating the vestibular system, inner ear balance, with gentle vibration can reduce sway and improve posture in children with scoliosis. These findings suggest that teaching the brain and muscles to self-correct may rival or even beat locking the spine in place. Inside an 8th grader's day, Jamie's story. Jamie is 13, loves soccer, and just hit a big growth spurt. Last fall, an X-ray showed a 25-degree curve. Her doctor ordered a thoracolumbo-sacral orthosis, TLSO for short, for 22 hours a day. The first week, Jamie endured itchy skin, hot flashes, and a blister on her hip. She stopped raising her hand in math because twisting her torso in the brace shot pain around her ribs. During lunch, she balanced her tray on one hand so the other could tug at a strap that always slipped. On the bus, she sat alone to avoid questions. After 2 months, Jamie's parents noticed dents on her shoulders and sweaty t-shirts stuffed under her bed. She was secretly ditching the brace during gym so she could run and kick the ball. Her curve climbed to 28 degrees by winter break, and the doctor mentioned surgery if things got worse. Feeling trapped, Jamie searched online and found a clinic teaching active, brain-based care. Within weeks, she swapped most brace time for 40-minute daily sessions of balance drills, breathing games, and walks in a posture suit that moved with her body. 3 months later, her curve held steady at 28 degrees, her core strength doubled, and she was back on the soccer team, minus the secret guilt. Hidden costs for families. A custom brace can cost several $1,000s, not counting replacements when a child outgrows it. Add co-payments for monthly checkups, liners that must be washed nightly, and lost work hours for parents who drive to fittings, and the price climbs quickly. Emotional costs add too. Siblings may envy the attention or feel awkward about family plans revolving around brace off hours. Parents juggle enforcing wear time with protecting their child's mood, which can strain relationships. All these hidden expenses make the simple solution of bracing less simple than advertised. Why bracing culture persists. If bracing struggles with comfort, confidence, mobility, and long-term results, why does it remain common? Part of the answer is tradition. For decades, medical guidelines relied on brace studies that measured angles alone. Insurance policies and hospital training followed suit. Surgeons often view bracing as the last step before operating, so they prescribe the stiffest model in hopes of buying time. Meanwhile, active, brain-based methods are newer, require coaching, and do not fit tidy billing codes. Change moves slowly in large systems, even when data nudges it forward. A new lens, movement as medicine. Modern neuroscience gives us a clearer lens. Healthy posture is a living reflex, shaped by signals between the feet, spine, inner ears, and brain. When a child jumps, each landing teaches joint sensors the feel of level ground. When she twirls, her eyes and ears coordinate to keep vision steady. Thousands of mini-lessons build a map of straight. Damage that map through sensory delay, muscle imbalance, or wild growth spurts, and the body may draw a skewed version. The cure, then, must be education, not imprisonment. Movement drills, small and often, teach the nervous system to redraw its map. A brace freezes the page but never corrects the picture. Rethinking the success goal. Success in scoliosis care should mean more than no surgery. It should mean strong lungs for cross-country running, a calm mind for test day, and a spine that can lift groceries at age 30 without pain. Rigid bracing can check a box on the first goal, yet it often steals progress on the rest. Active care aims to build a resilient spine capable of adapting to life, growing, stressing, aging, without cracking. That vision calls for flexible strategies, balance boards, core circuits, mindful breathing, hormone checks, and smart wearables that nudge posture during real activities, not just in X-ray rooms. What parents can ask. If your child's doctor recommends a brace, bring questions. How many hours per day, and why that number? What is the exit plan? Ask how and when brace time will taper. Will we add muscle training or balance therapy? How will you track whether bracing helps beyond X-ray angles? Are there lighter, more flexible options if comfort becomes a barrier? A good care team welcomes these questions and offers data, not fear. Remember, you are the customer hiring the brace to do a job. If it cannot work without harming comfort or confidence, you reserve the right to seek a smarter tool. Shifting the standard of care. Across the globe, small clinics, research centers, and patient groups are testing new models that blend light bracing, core training, and sensory reweighting exercises. Early results are promising. Curves holding stable with half the brace hours, better lung scores, happier kids. As more studies reach journals and conferences, large hospitals will take notice. Insurance codes will evolve. The medical culture will shift from freeze it to teach it. Parents and teens can speed that shift by asking for active options, sharing outcomes, and celebrating professionals who adapt. Key points to remember. Comfort drives compliance. A brace that hurts will be worn less, lowering its value. Emotional health matters. Anxiety and self-consciousness can shadow a child long after bracing ends. Stillness weakens muscles. Immobilizing the core may stall growth, but can leave the spine unprotected later. Long-term data is mixed. Many curves resume progress when bracing stops because root causes remain. Active care retrains reflexes. Programs that work with the brain and muscles respect how posture truly forms. Looking forward, from cage to coaching. Traditional bracing tried to lock the fight in place, like putting a lid on a bubbling pot. The lid rattled, steam hissed out, and the boil often returned. The next era of scoliosis care looks more like cooking on low heat, guided, watched, adjusted. Trainers, therapists, and smart devices will coach the body toward balance rather than clamp it. Kids will jog, jump, and dance while their scoliosis activity suits whisper corrective cues. Families will track progress with apps that measure sway and strength, not just angles. Surgeons will still stand ready for stubborn curves, but they may see fewer referrals as early, active care catches problems sooner. In the next chapter, we will introduce the science behind brain-based rehabilitation and how body feedback wakes sleepy balance sensors, and how daily walking in the ScoliSmart activity suit turns ordinary steps into posture lessons. For now, remember this: a straighter spine is only the beginning. A confident smile, a joyful sprint, and a peaceful night's sleep matter just as much. Moving beyond the brace means moving toward a life where the body learns, grows, and stands tall, naturally, actively, and free.